Hey guys, Barrett here, explaining to you today why your draw needs to be confident and fast. The reason as to why your draw needs to be confident and fast is that it affords us a greater window of opportunity if the need were to arise for us to pull and deploy and shoot our weapon. Here we have a bad guy come into a convenience store threatening people with a gun. A CCW identifies, draws, and takes a single shot to the chest, dropping him immediately. From that entire event, it took the actually armed citizen a moment to process what was going on, to step back, to create distance, and then he had to decide what he was going to do. And once he decided he was going to do, he pulled out his weapon. But if you notice, the opportunity in which this guy had was a great amount of opportunity. Matter of fact, I counted as 3 seconds of opportunity for him to pull, deploy, and shoot his weapon. So even though this guy did take a shot in his center mass, it did have a psychological effect. I don't believe it had a physiological effect. In fact, when this guy took the round, he was done and he was out of the fight. Now, I don't know how I would have reacted if I was this particular individual. I like to think, though, that I would not have taken the center mass shot, but it would have taken a CNS shot somewhere in the eye, the ear, or the back of the head. And because I have about 3 seconds to take that shot, I want to make sure it's well placed. Now, knowing that I haven't drawn or shot my firearm all day, and we've set up a similar situation, a similar distance, let's see what I would have done. And we're at 8-8. So that was a nice, slow, smooth presentation onto the target. The more confident we are to draw our weapon, the faster we can deploy the weapon, the greater a window of opportunity that we have in order to act. Because we don't know if we're going to get 3 seconds, and we don't know if we're going to get 1 second, or if we're going to get 5 seconds in order to act if we were to ever find ourselves. So let's train to be confident, quick, and of course accurate with our firearm. Now, getting back to what I said earlier about taking that CNS, that central nervous system headshot, why would I want to do that? Why would I not just want to shoot the bad guy and see if the event played out like it did in our self-defense video? Well, primarily, I don't know what my bad guy is capable of. I don't know if I shoot him in the chest, or if I shoot him in the leg, or if I shoot him in a non-threatening area, a non-lethal area, that I don't know if he's just going to give up. I don't know if as soon as he gets shot in the chest, he's going to turn and start firing at me. And that amount of time that he takes to act, I have to then spend additional time reacting to that as well. And that's something I don't want to do, because the bullets could be flying at my face and kill me. Bullets could be going someplace else and kill my children, or kill people in and around the vicinity of where this is happening. So I'm looking for that well-placed shot, because he's already demonstrated the ability and the intent, or the ability and the opportunity to do me bodily harm. Now, from the video, we can't see the intent. We don't know if he says, "Get down on the ground or I'm going to kill all of you. I'm going to kill all of you if you don't give me what I want," and something along those lines. But we don't have to be left to assumptions. Well, I don't have to be left to any assumptions about this entire event that happens. All I know is that this guy's threatening, using deadly force, and I am legally, ethically, and morally justified to use deadly force as well. I'm not looking to use this handgun as a tool that strikes fear into the heart of the bad guy. The only reason in my mind, with my own self, with me personally, the only reason this gun comes out is to take life. And it's to take life because somebody else is threatening my life, the life of people around me, or the life of my family. So you'll have to wrestle with those things on your own time. So how do we become fast from concealment, and how do we breed a confidence in ourselves that we can draw and drive out our gun straight to where we're looking? Well, it's pretty easy, and there's a step that I go over in class. There's a 4-step process when drawing with 2 hands from concealment. But primarily, one of the things that you want to make sure and ensure that you do is you start off going slow. The draw is the foundation of the shooting, because I got to get the gun out, and I got to make sure that the fundamentals of grip, sight picture, and trigger pull are all in line with what it is that I'm doing. That's the first thing. Second thing you want to do is to ensure that you have a good draw, is just to make sure that you go slow. Now, in order to get it to where I can drive out this gun straight to where I'm looking, draw and shoot every time, and I can do this repeatedly over and over and over again with no foul-ups and no mess-ups, is simply because I've developed it to be a part of what we call our autonomic memory. Now, what that is just like typing on a computer, just like walking, just like talking. I can execute this program without having to think about it, without having to give it a conscious thought. So imagine this. Imagine if you were to come in and sit down at a keyboard and I were to tell you, hey, go ahead and start typing upon the keyboard, and it was your first day learning, you would have to do what? You would have to go slow, and you would have to search and focus and peck on it. But as time goes on, you're going to be able to do that faster and faster, so much so to where you can actually look at the screen, not have to think about what your hands are doing, and then they're eventually going to do it. It's the same thing with drawing. So how do we breed this autonomic memory? Well, we breed it by consistency and focus. So to start off with, I'm going to focus myself, meaning that I'm going to go nice and slow and think about the steps and the processes of the draw. And I'm going to ask myself the question that we asked before: is the front sight covering to where I'm looking, or do I have to move the front sight to cover what I'm looking? If the front sight is not covering what I'm looking, I'm obviously going too fast and I have to slow down. The second thing is, of course, consistency. Consistency of the holster, making sure the holster is placed in the same way. Consistency that my limbs are doing exactly what they need to be doing. Because if I don't have focus and I don't have consistency, imagine if you were to come into that same computer class the next day after doing it over and over again, and I changed the keys around on you. You would be like, ah, why did he change the keys? That's messing with the consistency of the autonomic program. So whatever you decide to do it the right, or I would say do it the right way, which is whatever way you can do it to efficiently pull out this firearm over and over again. Drive out the gun to where you're looking and press the trigger. That this would be something that you would be consistently do the same way, if that makes any sense. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Check out the other videos I have about perfect practice from concealment. Talks a little bit about autonomic memory there, and you have a wonderful day.